Alright, this right here may be a little bit backwards, but I'm going for it. Alright. They took my music away. Then they took my emojis away. And then they took my talk-to-text microphone away. So we had to pay $35 to get it back, because I'm not that great of a speller, and it's a whole lot easier for me to do it and all. So I was talking to Rick about me getting it monetized, and he said if you could do it, try it. So I am going to try again to get it monetized, because I went through all these years without having to pay anything for a video editor. And now, here I'm having to pay for a video editor. And I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it a bit. Alright, so we'll get back to this whenever I get finished editing this video. Well, let's see what we can do about starting this video. Alright, I'm going to put these over here for right now. And what I'm going to do is take this one and try to put these other ones in here. This thing goes to, so if I can't keep it right here, and then, oh, come on now, I don't see how in the world I had it in there. It's moved. Alright, here we got these, and alright, now what I'll do is I'll lay these out. Well, I want that one on top, since I messed with it first. See what we could do about putting these in here, and then that way then I can come back to them and see what we could do here. Alright, and then here's them. Put that there. Alright, this right here, we ain't going to use it because it's by itself. Okay. Let's see if I have what else I've got in here that I can put down here in the bottom of this one. Okay, I'm still using this one. Still using this one, and this one, and this one. These I am not using. So it can go in here, and that one. Because those are all stuff I'm not using right now. I don't want to mess these up so I can use them. And look here, I got some more over here. Let's just put them down in here too. Well, come on, don't do that. Alright, now. Put those there. And these I'll put right here. Still using those. Alright, now I have this one. And I think these are all the darkest colored ones. It should be 8. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, how in the world did I do that? Huh. Alright, let's go with this then. 2 and 4. Okay. This is one side of it. And then we got 2 and 4. Oh, come on. So that would give me those. So these right here, I'm just going to fold up and stick over here. We're not using right now. Wish I had darker ones, but these right here are like a medium dark. I guess we could put them towards it, and then that way they'll come out. So now, guess what we need to do is start to cut all these out and all. Let's see if we can't line them up. Because if they're uneven, they're not going to work too good. So we can line them up. And see what we can do here. Scoot it over there. Alright. Now, we need to find the... yeah, right, Sandy. You got everything together, don't you? Oh, I think I do. Yeah, right. Alright, there's that one. That's the one we need. Yeah, I believe those light ones are not going to work too good. We need a darker color to make it work. So, I think this is what we need to do.
We wanted to buy a church out here, a building.
Oh, wow.
It cost $1 million. We said, we can't afford that because we grassroots.
Mm.
So the minister said, hey, no. We said, minister, how are you able to afford this $1 million building? He said, you go to the bank. I said, no. We went to the bank. All these banks, they say the churches have unreliable income because 1 week it may be good, and next week it might be bad because it's based on donations.
Right.
He said, no. He said, Christians have a bank strictly for Christians.
Oh, wow.
So he gave us the address. Brothers go down there, and the clause is, in order to get the money funded for a church, millions of dollars, you have to teach what they want you to teach. They said to us, our church, our teachings must align with theirs. Jesus is white. December 25th. The laws are done away with. I'm like, we don't teach that. You can't get no money from us then. And the churches have never revealed. That was on a sneak tip the minister told us. And we found out, whoa, there's so much ins and out with the churches, it will shock people.
This is why I reiterate every Sunday on our lives that the authentic truth is dangerous. Religious institutions are not allowed to venture into the dangers of the authentic truth due to their financing, due to their congregations. They have to stay within the four walls of their doctrines. It's not that all ministers don't want to tell the truth, but many of them just simply cannot afford to tell the truth. And this is the reason why here at Dynasty Readings with Taylor Seer, we stay dangerous. Divine Family, Dynasty Tribe. We're going to keep it Sunday.
You remember Officer Brianna Strauss from the city of Federal Way in Washington when she boasted about the power that she has to basically psychologically torment people, and they need to get the F out of the way because she can go 90 miles an hour, but you can't, and they'll pull behind you and look for any reason to pull you over. Well, we've got a brand new Deputy Strauss, and his name is Deputy Crow, but I want to just refresh your memory about what Deputy Strauss said.
I can go 90 miles an hour. You can't. You can't do that. So get the out of the way.
A Washington State police officer is suspended after posting a controversial video to TikTok.
If us officers stay behind you long enough, we can find a reason to pull you over. So you might as well get the out of the way.
We can find a reason to interrupt your day, to harass you, and possibly economically torment you while we sit you along the roadway in one of the most dangerous spots you can possibly be, putting myself and you and your family in danger. That is what Brianna Strauss is saying. Excuse me, Police Officer Strauss, not Deputy Strauss. We're going to be talking about Deputy Crow here in a second.
Since deleted TikTok was created by Federal Way police officer Brianna Strauss, who said it was a public service announcement for other drivers.
PSA to everyone out there. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm probably speaking for a large majority of other officers out there. If we're driving on the freeway in our police car, get the out of the way. Get the out of the way.
In the 38-second clip, Strauss tells the viewers, quote, "I can go 90 miles per hour. You can't." She also says officers will find a way to pull someone over.
If us officers stay behind you long enough, we can find a reason to pull you over. So you might as well get the out of the way.
Well, the video...
I thought they were out there. I mean, forgive me, but I was under the delusion that they were out there to protect and serve, not to harass us, not to psychologically manipulate us, not to game the system, not to abuse their power and do things where if you did the same thing they did, you would get pulled over and you'd get a ticket for it, or you'd get your butt hauled to jail. And, it turned out that for this little piece of police propaganda where she actually removed the veil and let us know what the real psychological makeup is of a police officer and how they feel about us and the contempt that they have for the public that they're supposed to be protecting and serving, for her troubles, she got a mere 10-hour suspension.
Was removed from TikTok. It made waves across the internet when a Reddit user posted a screen recording of the video.
If you merge and we follow behind you and we merge too, you're probably in trouble. Best way to find that out is get the out of the way.
In a statement to local media, the Federal Way Police Department said in part, quote, "We have viewed the social media video posted by Officer Strauss and can assure you that it does not represent the core values and practices of our police department."
When a cop says, or a police department says, or representatives of a police department said, "We can assure you this does not represent our core values," you can take it to the bank. It absolutely represents their core values and what they actually think about the general public, that they have great hatred for.
Strauss later received a 10-hour suspension without pay. Police say that's equal to one shift.
Let's go to Deputy Crow. This video right here has 10 million views. It went hyper viral. Listen to this guy's disdain for the general public.
Want to hear about some of my favorite things to do? This is going to piss you off. It's so much fun. And it's early in the morning or late at night. Oh, these are my favorite. When you're driving and you're coming at me and we pass each other like such, I like to hit my brakes. Yeah, especially early in the morning when you're running late to work, you're speeding, you're speeding, I caught you speeding. I just like to hit my brakes. Get the blood flowing. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. I'm helping you out if you think about it. Getting your blood flowing, getting you ready for work.
That is a psychopathic mindset. I'm really helping you out by getting your blood flowing. I really want to introduce fear into your system as you're going to work. And if you're a little late for work and you're going a little faster than I think you should be, well, guess what? I'm going to abuse my power and I'm going to mess with you. I'm going to make your heart jump out of your chest just a little bit because you think you're going to get pulled over and economically terrorized, and pay that ticket that you can't afford to pay. While I, on the other hand, and they do this in practice, it's not just this Brianna chick, this Brianna Strauss from Federal Way expressing what's on her heart. As well as I do, whether you live in a big city or a small town, I live in a small town, these guys are speeding all the time. Their lights aren't on, their sirens aren't activated, and even in the Oklahoma handbook, they are not allowed to do that by their own department, but they do it all the time. How many times have you seen a cop speeding down the road or running through a red light or running through a stop sign or not using their turn signals, where if you did the exact same thing that they did, they would be on your butt, they'd be pulling you over, they'd be harassing you. They want to see you squirm. They love that power. That is the definition of a psychopath. They love to know that they have power and control over the people that they're supposed to be protecting and serving. And especially, you're going to let your guard down around a cop because obviously you trust them, right? They're in a trusted position. They're in a responsible position. They're supposed to be the authority. We can trust the authorities, right? This dude right here is, just listen to what he verbalizes right here. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And I love it when they keep on talking because they expose themselves every single time.
I just like to hit my brakes, scare you a little. Also, when I'm sitting and I'm running speed traffic and I gotta go.
You mean speed traps? You mean unconstitutional violations of our unalienable rights to travel down the road? Just because, and you want to catch us going 7 miles an hour over the speed limit when you constantly go 20, 25 miles an hour over the speed limit? I was doing 80 miles an hour one day on a roadway going from Tahlequah to Tulsa because it's an 80 mile an hour zone. This cop blew by me like I was standing still, had to be going well over 100 miles per hour. I tried to chase him, but he was weaving out of traffic because I was gonna hold him to task. Could not catch that guy. He was an Oklahoma State trooper. Lights not on, sirens not activated. I tried to stay up with him as long as I could, stayed up with him for about 5 miles. He was gone. Not on an emergency, lights and sirens not activated.
When I'm sitting and I'm running speed traffic and I gotta go somewhere else, if I want to go to the gas station or grab a snacky or something, I'll wait. I'll wait till you come by. I don't care how far you're back. If you're 2 miles back, I'm waiting on you. And then as soon as you pass me, I'm gonna pull out. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Yeah. Also, at a stop sign, I'm not going first. I'll wait. You can do that. No. You're going first. Figured I'd let you in on a couple of fun things that I like to do.
And why would he do that? Why would he want you to go first? Because he wants you to be nervous. He wants that blood flow going. He wants you to be scared. He wants you to look at his presence as something that's intimidating. Oh, you don't want me pulling up behind you because I might find something on it. You got an expired license plate, boy? Well, I'm going to pull you over. You got your brake lights aren't working on one side? I'm going to pull you over. You didn't activate your turn signal when I thought you should have? Well, I'm going to pull you over. I want you to be as nervous as possible. I want you to be on your toes. Only a psycho would treat another human being like that. I hope this guy doesn't have pets. I hope this guy doesn't have a girlfriend. Can you imagine the mind games that he plays with people in his life? He's literally admitting to playing mind games with the public and admitting he violates that public trust.
Or others do the same. But, yeah. Now you know. Or do you? Are we gonna pull you over? Or are we just fucking with you?
Wow.
Which one's it gonna be? You make that choice. I can't make it for you. Good luck. Also, don't feel bad. I still get nervous when cops are behind me. Even when I'm in a squad car. I'll forget that I'm in a squad car. And I'll see a cop, I'll be like, oh shit. It's the cops. And then I'm like, I'm a cop.
You know what he's saying right there? Oh, that's right. I am a cop. I have qualified immunity. There's nothing for me to be scared about, but because you don't have qualified immunity, you need to be scared.
But, yeah, don't feel bad. Everybody gets that way. It's not just you.
Wow. Look into this guy's eyes. Those are the eyes of a true sociopath, a true psychopath. He knows he has the power. He knows he can abuse the power and get away with it. He knows that he can do certain actions where if you did the same thing, he would treat you as a criminal. Am I going to pull you over? Am I not going to pull you over? You got you guessing, don't I? Ooh, I love this. I love messing with people's minds. I love making them nervous. I love scaring the wits out of them. You better cross your T's and dot your I's when I'm behind you, boy. Leave your thoughts about this. I will leave the link to deputy_crow_adventures on TikTok. Maybe you want to. When we're talking about socialism or Marxism or communism, all you're talking about is wealth redistribution under different names. Basically, it's the few at the top controlling the many at the bottom and calling the shots and stealing their money, stealing the product of their time and laboring energies. If you want to make money, and this came out just recently. I wasn't aware of this intrigue and situation with Donnie Darkened. I just learned about it last night, and I've been doing some research on it, but I plan on doing a video on that on my YouTube channel because it highlights the fact that this guy, Donnie Darken, if you know anything about him, I personally was convinced that he was convinced at what he was talking about. But I only knew that he had one account, the Donnie Darkened account on the X platform, formerly Twitter. I did not know that he had a Mark Lichtman account and Facebook. So on the Facebook account, he was speaking for Trump, and he was playing into the hands of MAGA because he was making boatloads of money promoting Donald Trump and Team MAGA. On his X platform, unbeknownst to anybody until it came to light and people started exposing him, he was against Donald Trump, calling him basically a servant of Satan and possibly the Antichrist. So he was speaking out of both sides of his neck because it was economically feasible for him to do it here and really economically feasible to support the Trump platform. And that's where we're at with people on the left and the right. If you want to make money in this political game, you've got to be willing to be the water boy, be the water girl for Team DNC or Team RNC. Hey, sell poop soup or sell the turd sandwich, or sell poop soup and the turd sandwich. Play the moderate game like Tim Pool is. You'll make tons of money. Now, Tim Pool is far from moderate because he's more, vote for Trump. Sticks Hacks and Hammer 666 is voting for Team Trump. And I'm thinking, where's the morality? Where's the, what? I'm gonna speak what is right no matter who's against me. There's none of that. And that's the reason we're voting. That's the reason we're $35.3 trillion in debt, not counting unfunded liabilities. That's why we have wars. That's why we have unsound money, because people are taking sides. We get divided, and we come off of the moral hill we're supposed to be standing on. Whereas if we stayed on the moral hill, we'd be like, hey, you know what? The thing that Samuel Adams is not going to apply to me. A general dissolution of principles and morals will more surely overthrow the liberties of Americans than all the force of the common enemy. And then he says, while the people are virtuous, they cannot be subdued. But once they lose their virtue, they'll be ready to surrender their liberties to the first external or internal invader. That's exactly what Stephen Crowder does. That's exactly what Brian Tyler Cohen does. And that is exactly what Dave Pacman does. They have moved away from virtue and said, you know what? I can move away from the fire of virtue, turn my back on it, and make a whole ton of money and have a nice, comfortable living being a propagandist for the DNC or for the RNC. But I'll lose my shirt if I start telling the truth and pulling back the curtain. I'll get demonetized. I'll get censored. I'll get shadow banned. I'll get canceled. When you're worried about all that stuff, you don't give a damn about righteousness. You don't care about the truth. And that's where these people are at. That's why they are playing into the hands of the bankster puppets, either directly or indirectly, telling you to demoralize yourself, let go of your virtue, vote for the lesser of two evils. They want you to vote for evil. Think about that, guys. Think about that. These charlatans want you to vote for evil, to demean yourself and move away from morality. That's what demoralization is. And they want you to cast your lot in with evil. In the back of my mind, there's an Old Testament scripture verse that says something like, maybe it's even in the New Testament, something like, move away from good and cast your lot with us. The evil people are saying that. After the show, I found that verse. It's Proverbs chapter 1, verse 14, but we're going to read it in context. It says, my son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie in wait to shed blood. Let us lurk secretly for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them alive like Sheol and whole like those who go down to the pit. We shall find all kinds of precious possessions. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in your lot among us. Let us have a common purse. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Keep your foot from their path, for their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, but they lie in wait for their own blood. They lurk secretly for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone who is greedy for gain. It takes away the life of its owners. Cast in your lot among us. Let us all have one purse. Let's basically share in the evil together. That's what I see voting as. You're moving away from that which is right, moving away from your moral principle, putting a lid on your conscience, and you're actually voting for something even you know is evil. Even people you know are liars. You know they're tools in the shed of the Federal Reserve. And people are so sick of me saying that. It's like, yeah, but that's not the problem. The problem is not who's the president. The problem is not who's the governor, who are the senators, who are the congressmen. It's who are pulling the strings of the senators and the governors and the presidents and the congressmen. That's what I want to know. Because when we get to the bottom of that, then we know all those guys are corrupt, and these are the guys that are pulling the strings, and those are the ones we need to bring to justice and make an example of. It's pretty simple. And all you have to do is follow the money trail. You know who's involved. The people who wanted the TARP bailout. If we don't have a $700 billion TARP bailout, the entire economy is going to crumble. Well, maybe it will. But have you ever heard of you've heard of the Great Depression, but have you ever heard of the Greater Depression that didn't even last but 6 months in the 1920s? And you know why it didn't extend beyond 6 months and we had a very rapid economic recovery? Because the government didn't do anything. The free market took over and there was no money manipulation. Prices came down, people got right back to work, and everything was hunky-dory. But in the Great Depression that we know of, there was major money manipulation and government involvement, and we got to come up with all these programs. And FDR, rather than stopping the Great Depression, extended the Great Depression. If you want more information on that, just go to mises.org, Mises.org. They got a whole bunch of information on that. Everything is documented, and they definitely bring the receipts. Thomas Woods, Tom DiLorenzo, all those guys.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
It's nice to see you have fun. You know what would have been great for Donald Trump to have said? You're an enemy of the people. I'm not shaking your hand. I'm not doing it. I mean what I say. Screw you, lady. I mean, you know how many points you would have scored? I don't shake the hand of an enemy of the people. No decorum? Yeah, but you know what? That's living above board. You're gonna shake Joseph Stalin's hand? Well, FDR did, but you know where FDR was when he did it. He was just as much of an enemy of the American people as Stalin was to his people. It's like shaking hands. You're going to shake hands with Hitler? That's another thing. That's completely disingenuous. All the bad things that Kamala Harris has said about Donald Trump, why would you want to shake Donald Trump's hand? Why would you want to shake the hand of somebody that you just said is an existential threat to democracy? So really, by shaking his hand, Kamala Harris showed how good of a hypocrite she could be. And by shaking her hand, Donald Trump showed how much of a hypocrite he can be. And these guys don't bat an eye because they don't see it, because hypocrisy resides in their heart. And it takes like to know like. And when like knows like, they give each other a pass. Because I'm not going to call you out if you don't call me out. If you don't call my hypocrisy out, I ain't going to call yours out, and we can all live happily ever after and stuff pallets of money into our pockets and our bank accounts. If I was going to be, and I would never because I don't want to be your ruler, but if I was going to be a president of the people and I believed what I was saying about my opponent, Kamala Harris, ain't no way I would ever shake that witch's hand. If I shake your hand, I'm basically shaking the hand of the devil. I don't dance with demons. I don't negotiate with terrorists, and I don't shake hands with enemies of the American people. I'm America first. You're not. We're drawing the line right here. What does Donald Trump say? Have fun? What's this all about? What does he say?
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
Nice to see ya. Have fun. Is it really nice to see ya? I mean, how many people under the leadership, I'm asking a serious question here. How many people under the leadership of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have been erased from the face of the earth? How many people? How many people under Donald Trump, how many bombs have been dropped on families? You know, during Donald Trump's presidency, all 4 years, every single day, at least 46 bombs and missiles were dropped on people in foreign lands, right? You know that, right? According to the air power summary from the Pentagon. And just as many bombs were dropped during the Biden and Kamala Harris presidency. Donald Trump dropped more bombs and launched more missiles than Obama did. So we're talking about not just political leaders. We're not just talking about puppets. We're talking about literal warmongering mass murderers. If Kamala Harris really believed her rhetoric about Donald Trump, she never would have reached out her hand. If Donald Trump believed his rhetoric about Kamala Harris, he never would have reached out his hand to her. That handshake is all I need to see to know that this entire thing is a smokescreen dog and pony show. This is like the technicians at a concert rolling out the smoke machines. Because the real issue ain't ever going to be dealt with as long as two people who say that they hate each other and claim that they're the enemies of the people are going to reach out their hands and shake their hands. Nice to meet you. Was it really? So it was disingenuous from the get-go on Donald Trump's part, disingenuous on Kamala Harris's part, and really we could end it there. They're both freaking liars. They can't even be honest with their own selves. They claim to represent vast amounts of people. Do you think Team MAGA would actually, anybody on Team MAGA would shake hands with Kamala Harris and say, nice to meet you? It's just like when Donald Trump said, he pointed to Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and said, got a lot of respect for those two people. Got a lot of respect. Leads them in a leads the crowd right after his inauguration in a standing ovation to the evil Clintons. And then doesn't ever put her in jail.